Why are you and other journalists like James Okabi, Mtota Mutwiri still reporting sports when you could change something?
Watch this space. That's all I can say. Watch this space.
I will keep an eye on this space.
Keep an eye on this space. Keep an eye on this space.
I will absolutely keep an eye on this space. Here's the thing, I just want to point out that what he said, you just have to stick through it. Stop telling these kids they have to win. In fact, I saw something that changed my mindset completely. It read that you should encourage your children to fail, which is what I'm doing right now. I asked my daughter, what did you try today? What did you fail in? And she'll tell me, oh, I tried this, I tried to sing, I tried to write a song, I tried to do this dance move and I failed. And I will give her a high five. Why? Because failure is an opportunity to learn. Once we instill that in their system at a young age, they're not going into a competition looking to win or bust. They're going into it looking to improve and become better. That's what you're preaching.
Yeah, I mean, basically, I always tell people, making a mistake, and let me just, how would I say it? Let me quote the late Archbishop Raphael Bingi Mwananzeki.
Yes.
He said, ordinary people make mistakes, and once you correct the mistakes, now what you do is how you correct that. That is the whole essence of discipline. You know, in Kenya we confuse discipline and punishment.
Oh yes.
Discipline is teaching and correcting. Punishment is a totally different thing.
Is what you get from your mistake. Is what you earn.
Yes.
Reap what you sow. That's punishment.
So you learn that, you know, you basically you can't you don't add acid to I mean, if you put acid in water, or you realize this happens, you add water to acid, you realize this happens, and you realize, okay, don't do that. Then the late Archbishop Dingi said, those who do not take discipline then start making blunders. And he spoke candidly. And if you're making blunders, you're a fool.
Absolutely.
Only fools make blunders. Those are the words of the late Archbishop Raphael Dingi Mwananzeki. So we've got to stop, you know, this whole madness about just looking at the end results. Look at the foundations and you get it right. So, but if we get this right, there's going to be a change in the long term.
I'll admit I'm a fool in this area because I've made a blunder of not paying attention to beach volleyball. Kenya is partaking in the beach volleyball competition. Just walk me through the difference between volleyball and beach volleyball, plus how we're faring, because idiot here hasn't been paying attention to that discipline.
All right, beach volleyball, simply you play on sand.
Yeah.
You can do it anywhere. You don't have to have a coastline. You don't have to have a lake. All you need is a lot of sand and demarcate the area. 2 players, basically that, on rather than volleyball, which we play on grass, which is wrong. Volleyball is an indoor sport. We play on grass and other surfaces, so which is you see where we get everything wrong.
Yep, and yet they still perform in spite of this nonsense that we feed them.
You can imagine if we took volleyball, basketball, handball to indoor, I mean, would be at another level. So here is the thing. When it comes to beach volleyball, lost to Brazil, playing against the US on Thursday. So, but the girls have qualified for the very first time. I've got to say, no surprises here. The level out there has got to change, but there's a growing activity in beach volleyball. The more you play, the better. Because what they do is that they've got to create that sandbox. You're playing in Nairobi, so you've got to create that sandbox and you play out there. So that's something that's there. So and remember, we have no shortage of sand in this country.
Lakini, even when you say that, I'm laughing because I'm thinking, we can't get basic things right. You've talked about basketball, and I'm looking at the men's basketball, our Morans and our Lionesses who were out and about at the Afro basketball. Men are going in about 26, 27 days, I'm not sure. They'll be going for the Afro basketball. Wanna train Nyayo? Mali kuna leak, kuna nyesha. I've been there, it's raining. We can't get basics like that right. You're talking about bringing sand to Nairobi. Come on, bro.
No, I mean, listen. Let me ask you. Switzerland is one of the best beach volleyball countries in the world. What ocean do they have? They have Lake Geneva.
Their systems function.
Basically, if you're in Nairobi, if you're in Kakamega, if you are in Katonzweni, it doesn't matter. Just get a truckload of sand, fix it there, create that beach volleyball pitch. That's the whole concept. It doesn't have to be at a beach.
Simple, huh?
It's simple.
Like just fix the roof on Nyayo so that when it's raining, it doesn't leak.
Yes. The only thing is, if you want to do things simply in Kenya, you're told you're complicating things.
That's the sad part. Again, back to the system, which is pretty much strangling sports in this country. And then we sit here and we expect these guys to perform. Is that fair?
No. So fair. Listen, get your foundations right. Everything else will work. I don't know why people. The kazi ngumu ni ile ya msingi. Basically, the heavy load is setting up the foundation. Go ask anyone who's put up a house. It's the foundation that counts. Do you know how old Broadcasting House is?
No.
60 years.
And it looks this stable and amazing.
Have you seen a crack on the walls?
Nope, not a single one.
Thank you.
That tells you a lot. Ooh, all right. I love the way that you do that. You actually bring real life to every argument and make me see it from a genuine and a real life point of view. Anyway, again, back to Tokyo 2020, and it's today. Packed schedule. Swimming, boxing, taekwondo, rugby done and dusted, not to mention volleyball. What do we expect, and who's playing at what time?
All right. Danilo Rosafio is at 1 o'clock. 100 meters freestyle heat 2. That means he's not amongst the first ones. So, yeah, entered back via solidarity. We don't have a strong swimming setup at the moment. So I don't expect much from there.
Umesema to prepare tutayarishe dancers, traditional dancers.
Oh yeah, by the way.
For rugby, swimming.
Yeah, I have some sisal. You want make some
I'll
scouts?
go dancing, yes.
Okay. So, for Elia Joey, he's in action today. He's up against Julio La Cruz of Cuba. This is going to be an interesting one at noon. Julio La Cruz moved up a division. It's from light heavy to heavyweight. Now it's going to be an interesting one. And I've got to say, for Elia Joey, it's a big improvement in his style of boxing. A very big change, I've got to say. Not the sluggish guy we had 2 years ago. Elizabeth Akinyi is against Alicia Panguana from Mozambique. Wataenda kupanguana. So, and so that's going to be an interesting fight, by the way, for Akinyi, who got a bite in the round of 16. Then, but the Malkia Strikers. This is going to be interesting for the Malkia Strikers, playing against Korea Republic. I really want to watch this at 3:45. For real, I want to watch this. That's going to be an interesting one. What other one? Oh yes, Kenya Sevens are playing against Japan at 11.
Yeah.
And this is in the playoffs for positions 9 to 12. And the story of Kenya Sevens and Japan will be done by 4 a.m. tomorrow, depending on the result against Japan at 11. So that's the story.
What do you expect, by the way?
They should hammer Japan.
Should, but will they?
They should hammer Japan. I'm not a prophet. I don't have any skills of... I don't have crystal balls and things like fly whisks or any other things you see with the Mukulukulu men. But overall, they should hammer Japan. They just should hammer Japan and leave on a high.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. What's your pick of the week?
For me, my pick of the week, oh yes, it's my pick of the week, Barbara Banda of Zambia. The first ever woman to score a hat-trick in back-to-back games at an Olympics in football. 3 against the Netherlands and 3 against China. That is my star of the week.
Star of the week. There we go. Daniel Wahome, as always, an absolute pleasure. Unless you feel like dropping another line somewhere.
No.
Great. Absolute pleasure having you around, and of course bringing us up to date with what's happening in Team Kenya, for Team Kenya, or with Team Kenya at the Olympics. But the best part about that, because Daniel Wahome is right here on the Breakfast Club, he also gives us information about every other team that you require to know at the Olympics.